Hey, good evening, everybody. Just thought I'd kind of jump on here for just a few minutes, as usual. My orations are usually pretty short anyway, but it's Saturday night, and what is it? What is today's date? I don't even know what today's date, but it's Saturday night, January 16th. 16th. It's January 16th. So, Saturday night, January 16th, 2021. I don't know how often I go online and I'll check out some of the videos of some of the few people that I follow, and they don't tell you what the date is. And for all you know, it could have been done months ago, weeks ago. And as we all know, things change so quickly that anything that was done a week, 2 weeks back is irrelevant. So, in any event, just a couple of things I was kind of thinking about that I thought worth kind of putting out there. And I try to kind of give you, or at least shed some kind of thoughts and insights that I don't really hear anywhere else. And the thoughts that I wanted to kind of share with you is to try to remember, for those of you who are older, and not of the younger generation that kind of grew up in this technology world that we're in. You may remember a time, and I do. This is kind of what I was thinking about earlier today. Is I remember before technology really took off to the way it is, before the internet became the internet. And I used to drive to and from work when I was in college. And when I was in college, there was the number of times I did road trips up to New York and to Chicago from North Carolina. And I would do road trips down to Florida to go visit family and hang out there. And all you had was your radio, your FM radio. You may have some cassettes that you're listening to music, but it was always opportunity and time where you didn't really have anything to listen to, and you actually used your brain, exercised your brain. And I remember how stimulating it was, especially in my college years when I had my whole life in front of me and I was thinking about, what was my plan? What was I going to do? I was in college, I was getting a computer science degree, if anybody really cares. And how was I going to take that, and what was I going to do with it once I graduate, or even before I graduate? How could I kind of move my whole life was in front of me, and you just thought and you thought, and ideas would come to you, and it was exhilarating, really was exhilarating. And then the internet eventually kind of came to be, and we all got kind of plugged in. I used to read quite a bit, maybe not a voracious reader like my wife and my older son. They love to read, or they love to read. And we find ourselves now today in this technological world where we don't read as much. I have to admit, because information is so at your fingertips, because things change so quickly, we get an addiction to it, and it's a shame, because that is something that a lot of young people just don't appreciate and realize. Frankly, getting unplugged is a good thing. So kind of where I'm going with this is that, there's a lot that we have learned over the past, for me, probably 4, 5, 6+ years. I've been actually kind of opening up and kind of waking up to a lot of things and a lot of the realities that are going on. Some things I learned early on I didn't want to believe. I kind of took it in, I let it kind of stew and marinate, if you will. And as time would go on, as more information would kind of come in, I would kind of embrace it more and understand it more and accept it more. So I've been kind of going down this path for some time now, and where we are right now is kind of what I've been expecting. I've been actually telling people for a long time it's going to get worse before it gets better. So nothing that's happening and nothing that we're thinking is going to happen next week is not unexpected for me. So I've prepared for such things. Um, so so with all that being said, I'm at ease because of it, and I know where we're going. At least I have a high degree of confidence in where we're going. I don't know for a fact anything, but I have a high degree of confidence. My intuition and my belief says this is what's going to happen, and I cannot see it happening any other way. So with all that being said, just even though the social media, the news outlets, the places that most people would go to kind of get information is down, there's a lot of people scrambling out there, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to find out what's going on, what's going to happen, and people just need to stop. I mean, you can do what you want. I'm not going to get bent out of shape over it, but I'm not I'm not getting uptight. I'm not getting upset by not being told what's happening. Because if I know what's happening and what's going to happen, then they know what's happening and going to happen, which is not a good thing. In the spirit of war, in the art of war, not Sun Tzu, but in war, unpredictability is an asset. Unpredictability is a good thing. So I don't want them to tell me exactly what's going on. I don't want them to tell me how it's going to play out, because if they do, then obviously they're gonna know too. So people just need to calm down, unplug. I kind of said it quickly on something that I was kind of dialed into earlier today. Go play some golf, go build something, unplug, I guess is the point. And in a lot of ways, it's a healthy thing. It's healthy to unplug, if that's even possible at this point. I like to make analogies, just like Scott McKay and some of the other guys, and Mike Adams. They like making movie analogies. I think about Star Trek Generations and the Borg. I mean, we've almost got to a point now with social media and the web and the internet that we're all plugged in and we can't unplug. And if we do unplug, it's almost an addiction that we can't. We go through withdrawals. I mean, it is what it is, and I don't know if there's anything you can do about it. But I suggest you embrace what you used to have. For those people that can remember that far back, because it was very stimulating. We were exercising our brain, and we were moving in that direction, and we were planning our futures, and it was exhilarating. Read a book if that's possible, right? So my main point that I wanted to put out there is, don't get upset if you don't know exactly what's going on, and if they're not telling you how it's going to play out, because they can't, and you should know better, and you should know that they can't, because we can't tell. In war, unpredictability is critical, right? So that's that. And I don't know if this is a good analogy to kind of voice, but one of the things, I'm very visual. I think of things in pictures, and I think of things that way. And today I've been watching a lot of this. I'm thinking about Noah and the ark, and Noah, and all the people were basically scrambling and saying, Noah, why are you building this big ass ark? Why are you doing it? And he tried to tell them why he was doing it, but he got laughed at and ridiculed. And then the storm came, and they were all scratching at the sides of the boat trying to get on. In a lot of ways, I kind of feel like that's what's going on now. All these people that I've been talking to, all these people that and I've never been pushing. I just kind of plant the seed and I walk away. And 9 times out of 10, they'd kind of come back around and say, "Shit, that was some freaky stuff." And now it's really starting to materialize. So in a lot of ways, there are people out there that didn't want to hear this, didn't want to believe this, but now that we're here, they're scrambling to try to catch up. And I wish the best. I wish the best for them. I'll do whatever I can, but this is the days that we've been planning for. So again, don't like repeating myself on stuff I said in the past, but we need to pick our paths, commit to it, embrace it, and then let it play out. At this point, there's nothing we can do. There really isn't. So the more you can disconnect from, the matrix, if you will, the more that you can disconnect from the Borg system, enjoy your family, read a book, play golf, go build something, whatever your passion is outside of, the network, if you will, is probably a good thing anyway. So those are just a couple of things that came to mind. Lately I've been really, reflecting fondly on my days of road trips by myself, going from place to place, having dead space where I didn't have anything to listen to, and just thinking, and just thinking, cogitating, musing on different things that I wanted to do, things that are going on, and just exercising. It was very stimulating. So we're in a lot of ways we're losing that. We've lost that. We're allowing the propaganda engine to influence our decision making and to influence our behavior. That's what they want. I mean, it's all controlled opposition. It's all controlled propaganda coming at us. There's a lot of disinformation out there. So even if you hear something, who's to say it's right or wrong? That's where discernment kind of comes into play. So my suggestion to you is, don't push too hard trying to figure out what's going on and what's going to happen, because if anybody out there does tell you what's going to happen, could be disinformation. My instincts, my discernment, my sense tells me that it's all going to work out, and I feel extremely confident in that. But regardless of the fact, I'm not going to be miserable between now and whenever. And again, I'm prepared, since I've kind of been seeing this coming for quite some time. Anyway, again, just a little musing I wanted to kind of put out there, guys and girls. So, love to hear your commentary, and I'd frankly like to see, your stuff out there too. I think we all need to speak to each other, and maybe get a little bit away from just texting and chatting and all that kind of stuff. Put a face to a voice and just put it out there. Anyway, that was all I wanted to say. Again, on this Saturday, January 16th, 2021. Talk soon.